We're looking at the mostly repaired Mesa mpulse600 bass guitar amp. So far, I've worked on guitar tube amps, but this is the first time I worked on a FET amp. It's interesting that FET power amps don't have output transformers like tube amps. Problem is, if you don't have the isolation, you're susceptible to these offset problems that these P and N channel pairs have. But with the volume all the way down, voltage across the speaker 8 ohm dummy load is 205 millivolts. So that equates to 5 milliwatts. That's with the volume all the way off. So possible concerns are the sufficiently high DC offset voltage might start to impact the power handling capability if it was really bad, but 5 milliwatts, probably not an issue. I just would worry that any kind of DC offset would make the speakers sound weird or weirder anyway. So the 200 millivolts shows up across the load resistor, 8 ohms in my test case, an offset of 5 milliwatts. So the potential contributors to this error are differences in D1 and D2. These voltages here, this will create an offset up or down on the voltages to these gates. These two 330 ohm lesser so, they're probably pretty well matched. And there's always the possibility of gate variations between the N and P channel pairs where the gate threshold voltage would vary. Mesa design doesn't allow for the independent adjustment of the two channels. The Mesa design is a single trimmer to adjust both biases together at essentially a fixed offset. If the offset's small, it's a single trimmer design is a simpler design and it's easier for the average Joe to work on, there's less chance of getting screwed up because if you have two potentiometers, you'd be a lot more confused. You have to study it a lot more to understand what knobs you'd have to turn. A trimmer resistor here in one of these legs would allow the relationship between the bias voltages of the two channels to be adjusted. The mod could be ugly on the circuit board. Yeah, I'd have to glue a trimmer down to the PCB, and I don't think 5 watts is worth doing it, but I think it's worth a discussion.